Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here to talk to you today about interesting development. Not really a development. It's kind of like age old, and that is a publisher, editor, whoever, kind of taking jabs and making fun of the creators they hire. And in a lot of cases, the creators that actually produce some of the most well-known comic characters at these companies and some of the highest selling books. And you're going to ask yourself, well, why? Why would these creators not be met with gratitude, a raise, a thank you even, but made fun of? Like, what is up with that? Before we get into it, make sure you hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Now, I think this little snippet here that Rob is quoting is from the History of Marvel Comics. It's a prose book, came out a long time ago. It actually kind of dictates, or it's kind of like a bit of a this person said this happened, a little bit of a history. It's all reaccounted through other people's perspective note in a lot of cases. So some stuff in there by Roy Thomas, stories by other people that were around Kirby and stuff. Obviously, not direct stories from Kirby unless it can be tracked down to an interview or something like that. So this section of the book, and I think this is from the book. If it's not from the book, somebody in the comment section let me know what this is from. But it goes, the editorial staff up at Marvel had no respect for what he was doing, said Jim Starlin. All these editors had things on their walls making fun of Jack's books. They'd cut out things saying, stupidest comic of the year. His entire editorial office was just littered with stuff disparaging the guy who founded the company these guys were working for. He created all the characters these guys were editing. Tensions were now worse than they'd ever been in the 60s. Kirby reportedly received hate mail on Marvel letterhead and crank phone calls from the office. Now, I think that's a prank phone call, not a crank. Crank? What is a crank phone call? A prank phone call. Now, the Marvel letterhead, I have to say, that is funny. That means that somebody within the office, maybe you couldn't tell, maybe they were anonymous, but you knew it was somebody in the building, somebody on the Marvel payroll with the Marvel letterhead writing you a hate letter. That's funny. I don't know why. That's funny. I'd like that. I'd like one of those. I've heard about this a lot. There was a lot of this, and I think it even happened with Siegel and Schuster over at DC Comics. Rob comes in because Rob's like, me too, me too. Which, I mean, this is true. I've heard stories of Rob. And Rob goes over here. He goes, being mocked by Marvel editorial is a great badge of honor. Editor Ralph Macchio, not the Karate Kid. This is an editor. I know they got the same name. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's the same guy. Had my picture on the door with a bullseye in my face. And my eyes crossed out while I outsold every comic he ever produced. I walked right past it. It's no surprise that they had mocked the king. King Kirby. Mocked. Woo! So in both cases, this is interesting because, obviously Kirby created a big part of the Marvel universe. And I don't even know if we would really have the American superhero genre that we know so well today without King Kirby. And on the other side of it, you got Rob Liefeld, who has made not as many characters, but Cable and Deadpool, probably some of the last great popular characters, especially Deadpool. Most iconic new characters to be made in my lifetime. Maybe Hellboy, close second. But yeah, Deadpool. And here's a creator being mocked. Now, this is true, not exactly this story. Although I went to the office and I do think Ralph Macchio did have a picture of Rob up. So I do think that might be true. But when I had went to Ralph Macchio's office, he was editing the Ultimate books in the 2000s. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it'd just be weird if I did see this and at the same time. But I don't know. That's possible. But because they changed buildings a lot and stuff. But I do know for a fact that when Rob was working on Heroes Reborn, that the Marvel bullpen was full of artwork of his Captain America, the famous Captain America with the giant chest, all of that stuff, all over the offices. And I was told by the art director that had been there at the time that Rob was coming in and they had to run and yank everything off the walls. They had to run through room to room, ripping down all these images of Rob Liefeld's work before he came in to the offices. Now, why does this happen? And everybody's like at home, you're seething, you're like, I can't believe it. No respect for these creators. You guys first have to understand when you are working in comics and you're an editor, you're probably not a good writer. Okay. That's why you're an editor. You're not a good artist. Again, most 99% of the time, you're not that. That's why you're a comic book editor. Maybe at best, you have great manipulation skills, leadership abilities, and you have an eye for talent. Maybe you have one of those three, or you're just good at trafficking work. That's it. You really have no vision of selling books or things that would excite fans, or even an eye for talent. So maybe you're those things. So you end up in this position where you're dictating things being done. You're making moves for things being done. If somebody doesn't turn in a script, you probably can't write it. If somebody doesn't draw the page, you can't draw it. But somehow you're the shot caller here. And so you're really not dominant. You're actually the most inferior part in some ways, right? Surrounded by all these creative people, but somehow you're the most powerful. So you end up doing malicious things like this at creative people, trying to manipulate other people into believing you are powerful. See, the whole thing is you have to build this mental state where the beast allows you to ride it. Think of a horse and a cowboy, right? There's no reason the horse doesn't, just throw the cowboy off and kick him and stomp him until he's dead. But somehow the horse believes that the cowboy is this superior thing on top of him, and it's a bit of a manipulation. But when brute force comes to brute force, that horse could take out that cowboy in 2 seconds. But that is basically what comic book editorial needs creators to I don't know. They treat people like shit. I mean, that's just it. There's tons of stories about this. This happened with the Seagulls and Schusters at DC Comics. They were mocked, and one of them even had to change their name to get work and work at Marvel Comics. Their name had been destroyed that poorly. It is what it is. What does it mean? Shane, what does this mean? It means probably if a comic book editor is making fun of you, you're super successful, you're super talented, and they're trying to flex off of you to impress the person to the left and right in their cubicle. But chances are, if they were a very creative person, they wouldn't be in a cubicle to begin with at Marvel or DC Comics. Some of the worst decisions being made in comic books are actually happening in those cubicles at Marvel and DC Comics, oftentimes happening to people that make poverty wages in New York City. Think about that. You're making poverty wages in New York City. This is the equivalent of having a hobo on the side of at the subway terminal dictating and mocking you. They don't have a job unless you create a character that then they can monetize and make books off of. Think about that. That's crazy, right? If every comic creator stopped working tomorrow and just went on strike, how many DC, Marvel editors, IDW, Dark Horse, all of these people would be unemployed in less than a week? If the comic trains just quit moving, if everybody protested around the world from working on any of these companies, the most powerful people in comics, the shot callers, if you will, would all be unemployed just like that. Now, people are going to say, but AI is around the corner. But see, that's not going to work because you can't make fun of AI because nobody gives a fuck who AI is. Nobody's going to be like, AI is not going to be Rob Liefeld. AI is not going to be a human being that has a personality and a persona. It'll just be standardized, whatever artwork. And then that's going to leave the companies with only one thing left to sell. Only one thing left to sell. And that's going to be the characters. So then at the end of the day, is Ralph Macchio going to be making fun of Spider-Man on his wall and put Spider-Man in the crosshairs on his door with X's in his eyes? You get where I'm going with this? It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know. And if AI is coming for artists, I mean, what's the fun in making fun of Skynet? Why? I mean, that's not fun. Who's going to want that? You guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Also, Inglorious Rex. Woo! Woo! We got 1,703 backers, $185,000, 23 days left for this monster hit of a campaign. Please go over here and check this out. If you want to get Inglorious Rex 1 or 2 or Starlight Cats for the Kitties, over here you can buy it in our shop. It ships out the next day. Go back this campaign, or if we get $200,000, everybody's getting another trading card. We got great stretch goals that come with this. We have a 3-book tier that catches you up on all the stories of for Inglorious Rex 3 of 232 and Alex Stone. If you love Rocky, you like MMA, you like Godzilla, you're absolutely going to love Inglorious Rex. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for the smash hit comic. If you like what you see, definitely support this. Make crowdfunding happen. Let's go!
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first reverse, now you last. Blast of the bag. It's cool though. Last card play it right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to slide. Hard-headed, I will not listen. If you do not get it, that's your bag. Keep up in the sky like we see you feet up. Metal meets metal, it's no keeping up. Sniper division, it's no seeing us. This here is earned, ain't no hookups. So if you wanna eat, gotta cook up. Next level on the way, better look up. So if you wanna eat, gotta cook up. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Can't kill my dreams, you ain't ready. I'm headed straight to the list with the legends.